Inside each of us exists a world that no one else can see, a space where our thoughts come to life in ways that are entirely our own. Some minds are filled with words, an endless dialogue shaping every moment, while others are silent, where ideas take shape without a voice or image. But what does it mean to have these different inner worlds? How can the same human brain create such radically unique experiences of reality? These differences raise an interesting question. How can our minds, housed within the same human framework, be so diverse? It's easy to assume that everyone experiences thought in the same way we do. But neuroscience tells us that this assumption couldn't be further from the truth. Thought, it seems, doesn't rely solely on words or images. The brain operates on electrical signals, encoding experiences in ways that are uniquely interpreted by each individual. For those who live with an inner monologue, thought is structured, almost conversational. Ideas are processed in words, and reflection often takes the form of a dialogue with oneself. It's a familiar feeling for many, like rehearsing a conversation, working through a problem, or pondering the past. But what about those for whom thought is silent? No inner voice narrating the day's events, no words guiding the mind through decisions. This brings us to the phenomenon known as aphantasia, the inability to form mental images. While it may sound specific to visualization, aphantasia often extends into other sensory experiences. Some people not only lack the ability to see things in their mind's eye, but also experience a kind of cognitive silence, where even verbal thought seems absent. Imagine thinking about a beach but not seeing it, not hearing the waves or feeling the sand, not even in your imagination. Yet somehow you still understand what a beach is, even without the mental imagery. These varied inner landscapes raise a deeper question. How does the brain manage to create such distinct experiences of thought? Our minds are the product of incredibly complex neural activity, but they don't always follow the same pathways. The brain's ability to generate thought can take many forms, from verbal dialogue to abstract reasoning. For people with aphantasia, thought may occur without the need for internal images or even words, relying instead on deeper, non-verbal forms of understanding. In fact, research into aphantasia and other cognitive differences has begun to shed light on how the brain processes information. Scientists have found that different areas of the brain handle different aspects of thinking: visual, verbal, abstract, but they don't work in isolation. For example, someone who can't visualize objects may rely more heavily on other cognitive skills, like spatial reasoning or memory, to process information. This flexibility shows just how adaptable the brain is, able to compensate for what's missing by using other tools. But why does this diversity in thought exist? It's possible that, just like our physical senses, our cognitive processes develop based on our unique experiences and environments. People who grow up in environments that emphasize verbal communication might naturally develop stronger inner voices, while those who engage more with abstract or visual tasks may lean into non-verbal or non-imagery-based thinking. Evolutionary psychology offers another perspective. Over time, our brains evolved to handle a wide range of tasks, from problem-solving and creativity to social interaction and survival. This diversity in mental processes may have helped humans adapt to different challenges, allowing for a range of cognitive approaches. Perhaps those who think in silence, without the distraction of inner chatter, are able to process certain kinds of information faster, while verbal thinkers benefit from a structured, reflective inner world. As we explore this further, we find that consciousness itself, the very experience of being aware of our thoughts, is one of the greatest mysteries. How do neural networks, made of nothing more than biological tissue, create the rich inner worlds we experience? Some neuroscientists believe that consciousness is the brain's way of keeping track of its own processes, a feedback loop that helps us navigate the world, but this theory only scratches the surface. It doesn't fully explain why some minds are filled with words and images, while others are quiet yet equally active. What's perhaps most intriguing about this whole phenomenon is that no two minds experience thought in quite the same way. The fact that some of us think in images, while others think in abstract ideas or words, suggests that the brain is far more flexible than we give it credit for. Each mind is not just a reflection of the outside world, but a unique inner landscape, a place where our individual experiences shape how we perceive and process reality. And then there's the unconscious, the vast hidden part of our mind that operates below the surface. Whether we experience thought through inner dialogue, abstract understanding, or visual imagery, the unconscious is constantly at work, influencing our actions, feelings, and decisions in ways we barely notice. It's like a silent guide steering us without our awareness, reminding us that thought isn't just about what we consciously experience. This idea brings us full circle. Our conscious experience of thought, whether filled with words or silence, is just one part of a larger, more complex mental process. The diversity of inner experiences, from vivid mental images to the absence of an inner voice, shows us that thought is not a one-size-fits-all phenomenon. Each of our minds creates its own version of reality, shaped by both conscious and unconscious processes. So, what does all this mean? Perhaps the greatest mystery isn't how we think, but the fact that we all think differently. Our inner worlds are as varied as our outer experiences, each one a reflection of the intricate workings of the brain. And while science has uncovered much about how the brain functions, the full nature of thought, how it's experienced, shaped, and expressed, remains a profound and fascinating mystery. In the end, our minds are not just processing machines. They are unique worlds of thought, endlessly creative and complex. Whether we think in silence, words, or images, our minds reflect the incredible diversity of human consciousness, each one a universe unto itself.